Well, my plan for my Saturday ride, the forecast was 55 degrees. That was Saturday, the, I don't know, 11th, 10th maybe? Anyway. Now the forecast for Saturday is 25 degrees and snow. Today is Wednesday, I don't even know what day it is. I don't know, 14th. And the forecast is 60 degrees and even a little warmer up in the Black Hills. So today I took a day vacation and I'm going on a ride. So I've got about an hour and a half of good old Nebraska rolling plains to get up north of Hot Springs into Wind Cave and Custer National Park, or Wind Cave National Park, Custer State Park. And so anyway, I'll get back to you. Well, I made it up to Wind Cave National Park. Some of you guys that have ridden the Black Hills in the summer, Sturgis or Spyder in the Hills events or whatever, might enjoy seeing what this looks like up here in late fall. Here we go. So what I'm going to do today is head up Highway 87 through Custer State Park, jump on Needles Highway, go up to Keystone, and then up by Mount Rushmore, and back down Iron Mountain Highway, and then I might take the wildlife loop back through Custer State Park. Maybe we can get some herds of bison or buffalo. Prairie dogs. I don't know if you can see them. Oh man, there's gravel on the road. They've had a couple pretty good snows up here already. Get a look over this bridge. It is a long ways down there. Oh, snow on the road. Friendly people. Still snow on the ground up here. It's awesome. Yield. Roger that. We're officially still in Wind Cave National Park here. Man, there's still snow on the road. Hopefully it's all gone by the time I get up to Needles and Iron Mountain, because who wants to tiptoe through those when there's no traffic, no tourists up here in at this time of year? Not me, but I will if I have to. Alright, I'm going to jump off and get you back if we see any buffalo or deer or anything. Here we go. Or I'll slow down and we'll look at some of this beautiful scenery. Man, it's gorgeous up here. Have my GoPro set on 1080p at 48 frames a second, so hopefully some of this view is coming through real nice. Alright, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to head over and jump up on Needles. Bye. No. Crap. Alright, so we are going to jump over and head over to Iron Mountain and see if it's closed. Man. Alright, here we go. I'll be back. Road subject to closure during weather conditions. 9 miles ahead. No road closed. We're going for it. Piles of salt on the road. Don't like that. Oh, that's a good sign. Unless they went up and turned around. So, I guess it's really no sign at all. Whatever. Another car either turned around or came through. Okay, what I'm driving is a 2014 RT, and it's the limited version, so it has the GPS and I don't know, it came with luggage. Bought it used in June, so it was June 23rd this year, 2018, so it was 4 years old. Had 4,800 miles on it. Now has, or had 4,400 miles on it. Now it has 11,600. So I put over 7,000 miles on it. I put the dash mount on there, and then that charging station right there. Had to do a little engineering to get that to work the way I wanted it, so I could have my phone out here in the high plains. We have horrible thunderstorms that pop up, so I can ride with my radar app on the phone. keep track of storms. We actually outran one when we went up to Devil's Tower once this summer on our way back down through the hills here. And it was actually the hailstorm that there was like 3.5 inches of hail around Mount Rushmore, and we outran that thing because we saw it build and start chasing us. And anyway, I was really glad I had that radar app that day. It's an X-Grip phone holder. I put magic mirrors on here. I was a little worried about them like not being real solid when I got them on, but man, they're way better than the stock clips. They don't budge. I put a Doc Humphreys vibration dampener on here because 70 miles an hour I'd get that stupid belt vibration. So I don't have that anymore, which is wonderful. I did put a new tire on the back. I have a video on that, and the magic mirrors. Oh, I put the gear brake system on it. So the gear brake smart module, when you let off the gas, just the deceleration flashes your brake lights like 5 or 6 times. 30% of motorcycle accidents are rear enders. And I was getting ready to go to the Bighorns with my 2 brothers, and they were on Harleys, and I was not going to plan on following 2 Harleys. If I wanted to listen to that, I'd have bought one. So I ordered this gear brake, so when they were following me, they'd know when I let off the throttle, and just for general safety. And then when you hit the brake, it flashes the brake lights, and then the brake lights stay on when you have your foot on the brake. So anyway, just makes it way more visible. And it was a plug and play, fairly simple to install, although it did not come with very good instructions because it didn't even say where the brake harness was that you were supposed to plug into. So anyway, it wasn't that hard. I found it and then did a video on the install. The way you adjust them is the cant of it. So if it's sitting level or slightly nose forward, it's easier for that accelerometer in it to activate. So you have to play with it a little bit on what angle you mount it at. It took me like 4 tries, and I was just using, I just cut some shims, and I started with it mounted pretty nose forward, just mounted on the piece of frame, and it activated way too easy, like every time I hit a bump. So I kept nosing it up just a little and got it to where if I if I just kick the cruise off, and especially the 14s, I don't know if the 15s do it, but the 14s, when you let off when you kick the cruise off, you like go into full deceleration mode. The later ones, the program lets them decelerate a little smoother. But anyway, if I'm cruising down the highway and kick my cruise off, it will activate that gear brake. Definitely worth the money. And let's see. I'm going to put on a Baja Ron sway bar this winter. And I haven't decided whether I'm going to order Spyder Pops. I think it's Spyder Pops spring adjusters for these, because these 14s don't have the adjustable front springs like the older ones did. So I haven't decided if I'm going to do those or order Elka Stage 2s. They're the spring adjuster you can put on. Maybe it's Baja Ron. It is Baja Ron spring adjusters. Those, they're just adds an adjustment to preload your strut stiffer. I weighed like 250 pounds, and it isn't horrible when I'm on here, but when I ride 2 up, it's way more noticeable that I need a little better suspension in the front and a better sway bar. So anyway, I haven't decided what I'm going to do there yet, but I'm going to do something. And I'll probably put a new battery in it towards spring, because this is the original battery, and I just don't want to be stranded anywhere because of a battery crapping out. 5 years on a battery is enough, I think. I did have the dreaded desk failure when we were on our way to the Bighorns. We came up through the hills and stayed in Spearfish Canyon that night, and we got our bikes unpacked into the motel, and we were gonna jump on the bikes and take a ride up to a little waterfall scenic area, and turned my key on and got the old desk error. So I tried my other key. No difference. We were in complete blackout mode for internet with our phones, and the motel we stayed in, their internet was down, so it was like literally dark ages there. So I couldn't do any Googling. Couldn't do any... Well, it was too late to call anybody. So after I took my key out and talking to my brothers, and about 5 minutes later I put my key in, and boom, it came up and worked. But we're on our way to the Bighorns on a 4 or 5 day trip, and I was just sure I was going to get stranded somewhere. So the next morning, my wife and I took off early and went up to Spearfish. They have a Can-Am dealer up there. So I did some Googling and read all about it before we went there, and then once we got into Spearfish, and I had cell coverage. So anyway, we went there and they did not have one. He said to clean, make sure my key was clean, make sure to clean around the ignition where the key goes in, and it was a little bit grimy, but anyway, I cleaned it all up. It was going to take him a week and a half to get one in, and everything was good. Never happened again for over a month. So I kind of put it out of my mind. And then my wife and I were going to go on that Yellowstone trip, and so we were leaving Thursday morning. On Monday night, I was the other guy in town. We live in a town of 1,000 people. There's one other Spyder in town. He was over, and I was showing him something, and I turned my key on, and the desk error came up again. So I kind of panicked, because we're leaving for Yellowstone, in 3 days. So the next day I called the Can-Am dealer in Rapid City, asked him if he had a module. Well, first I asked him if he could disable the desk system altogether, if he had the, what is it, the Megatech version of it, because if somebody's going to steal this thing, they're going to steal it. I'd just as soon disable that whole system and not deal with it at all. But anyway, he went back and checked, and their mechanics, of course, had the dealer version, which you cannot disable the DES on. So anyway, I asked him if they had one in stock, and he said yep, and I verified that it was the new version that takes care of that DES error, and it was. And I said, so can I, if I brought it up tomorrow, or let's see, this was Tuesday, like at lunchtime when I called him, I said, so if I bring that thing up after work this afternoon, can you fix it and I'll pick it up tomorrow, which would be Wednesday. And he said, yeah, we'll make that work. So anyway, shout out to Rice Rushmore Power Sports in Rapid City. Man, they fixed me up. And I was told by another shop that I had talked to that it was going to be like 450 or 500 bucks to put that thing in. So I don't remember what they said, like 100 and maybe it was 400. Anyway, 150 or 75 for the part, 100 and some to replace it, and then 100 bucks to program the keys. Well, when I went to pick it up from Rapid City that Wednesday afternoon, Rapid City's a 2-hour drive from my house, got the bill and it was 200. It was under $250. And I said, so why is it so cheap? And he said, well, it was so much for the part and 90 bucks for him to put it in. And luckily he'd just done one the week before, so they actually gave me a break on the shop time because he did it quicker than the book said. I said, you didn't have to program the keys? He says, no, that's all handled from the ECM. So in hindsight, I could have just bought it and put it in myself. That was the first time I've paid a mechanic to do anything to anything I own in a long time. Probably almost 30 years. I do all my own mechanicing. I guess I pulled the transmission out of my Super Duty and had a transmission shop rebuild it for me, but I took it to them and let them rebuild it. I took it out and put it back in. So here's Mount Rushmore. Let this thing focus. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully it's focusing out there. That's tunnel 1 of 3. Now we get a little switchback action. So anyway, that's the only issue I've had with this thing, is the DES error. I'm really tempted to order that Megatech version of the Buds program. But it's $1,000 and I'm not positive how long the license is good for. If you have to buy that every year or 3 years or 5 years, so I don't know. I am an electronic technician for my job. So doing technical stuff is not foreign to me. Thought about buying that and showing up to a Spyder alley up here in the Black Hills and disabling death systems for everybody, but then their Spyder would probably get stolen and they'd try to get me to pay for it. So that ain't gonna happen, and I don't have enough friends with Spyders to share the cost of it, but it's only probably gonna take me getting mad once or twice, and I'll probably own that program. Man, it's beautiful up here. Warm, 60 degrees, even though there's still snow on the ground. So I don't know what I've met. 3 or 4 cars up here. Man, in the summertime, especially around Sturgis, boy, there's no enjoying a nice curvy ride the way you probably want to, because there's so much traffic. Tourists and motorcyclers. I haven't had too much trouble though, really. People pulling over and letting you by. Love it up here. There comes tunnel 2. This one, I'll turn here, because this one you can't see Rushmore going through it unless you're coming down. I don't know if it'll focus on Mount Rushmore there. Let's see. And here's the third tunnel. After that, I'm going to let you go. Maybe I'll run up by Mount Rushmore and give you a shot of that. Whoa, yeah, that's a good one. But I'll drive right up there. Hopefully it's focusing. Man, it's beautiful up here. All right, I'll be back. Rumor has it, Needles Highway is open now, so we're gonna take Needles Highway southbound instead of northbound like I had planned. No car shopping today. Maybe Saturday when it's cold and snowy and I can drive a four-wheel drive. Man, it's beautiful today. It's over 60 now. We'll get a shot of Mount Rushmore from the side of it, coming around the edge here, maybe. If I can turn my head that far. Oh, there's George Washington. Alright, I'm gonna pop off here and we'll catch you when Needles hopefully is open. Bye. Beautiful. Not quite to Needles Highway. We're getting close. Whoa. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to give this thing a bath. All the salt on the road. Might have to do it this afternoon. So it's gonna get cold. Alright, I'll be back. Okay. Needles Highway, the north end of it. Heading south back toward Custer State Park. No. Wonder if there's anybody here. I guess we'll see if there's barricades up. Sylvan Lake. No. Now, I gotta decide how I'm gonna get back. If I'm gonna go... Oh, jeez. About lost my Mount Rushmore ticket for next year. Now I have to decide if I'm gonna go back Iron Mountain or just go down through Custer. Well, it is now 12:20. I'm gonna go through Custer. Man. Alright, sorry guys. No Needles Highway till probably next year now, I guess. Well, no Needles Highway this year. I'm gonna go down through Custer and decide between here and there if I'm gonna jump over and go back down through Custer State Park or take the fast way back to Hot Springs and then south to home. But still a good ride. Just not exactly how I planned it. Alright, I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Okay, I'm going to take 16A back over to Custer State Park and go ahead and get through the wildlife loop. I'd like to see some bison in there, since we only saw the 2 this morning. So it's now 12:32, so I got time. See you in a bit. That's better. Look how dusty my phone is. Alright, I'm going to let you go for now. That's the 4th motorcycle I've seen today. So more than just me is out taking advantage of this day. No spiders. There we go. Well, thanks for coming along. Just got it washed in Hot Springs. Now I've got a little over an hour of not much scenery ride home. So appreciate it and have a good day.